Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about Digivolution. This is a very integral part of Digimon as it shows how they grow, how they get stronger, and it can get a little bit confusing. There's a lot to talk about because, as with any show that stands just over 25 years old has learned, you need to innovate to keep things interesting. No, too far, let's go back, let's go back. Okay, it's gone. All right, let's start with the basics here. So, what is a Digimon? The short answer, and technically most correct answer, is they are digital monsters. I realize I probably should have started with a discussion of what Digimon is for the sake of understanding more, but there's a high chance that if you clicked on this video, you know what a Digimon is. They're creatures made up of data that come in just about any shape, size, and color. Humanoids, plants, devils, angels, dragons, knights, aliens, plants, bugs, food. As you can see, variety is not an issue. Now, Digimon all share a similar naming convention, being data. They all have a file extension type name, so their names all end in mon, which is their file type, monster. Personally, I think this is an awesome bit of world building that, as a kid, I didn't notice. Digimon start off as a Digitama or Digi-Eggs, and depending on which digital world the continuity is, an egg will either always have the same baby Digimon for the design, and sometimes it may not. This all depends on which continuity we're following. Now, baby Digimon is, as it sounds, they don't really have a great way of communicating, nor are they all that strong. If anything, some of them will literally be swept up by a strong breeze. In Poyomon's case, a breeze in general. Oh, please don't cry, Poyomon. It's okay. You're safe here. Just hang out for a little bit, okay? Where was I? Right. So from here on, a Digimon will Digivolve. Before I go over what the next stage is, I want to talk about Digivolution because it's a core concept to growth, and it's what this video is about. What makes a Digimon Digivolve? Now, this changes from canon to canon, and we're going to be ignoring Digimon that are raised by tamers, whether they're Digidestined or not. And the reason is that tamers and Digidestined kind of influence the Digivolution in specific ways. One of which being that very often it's considered non-permanent. Whereas a wild Digimon would be permanently stuck in their evolution form, a tamer who has a rookie Digimon could make it into a champion, and then it may de-Digivolve back down to a rookie. We see this commonly in the Digimon anime. Now, how does a wild Digimon Digivolve? And, well, that's easier explained. The Digivolution is influenced by the data they take in. So because of this, Digimon tend to have varying evolutions that are commonly joked about as not making any sense, such as how Nyaromon becomes Salamon, becomes Gatomon, becomes Angelomon. This is still one of the more sensible ones if you understand that they're all holy creatures. They're not just cat, dog, cat, angel. And the holy part is why they are able to maintain that line. It is fun for jokes, but some people tend to take those a little too seriously. Now, funny enough, there is a fan-made game that I think encapsulates Digivolution really well, and I'll link to it down in the description so you can give it a shot. I might even do a review on it at some point, but it's called Digital Tamers 2. It's a fan-made game about raising a Digimon, or a bunch of Digimon since they pass from old age, and you even utilize data from enemies you defeat to raise new Digimon. Importantly to this though, to evolve some of the Digimon you need to collect data of different Digimon types. Some Digivolutions require you to gather an amount of beast or machine data from other Digimon which you get from fighting. This perfectly encapsulates what Digivolution is in the cleanest way, I'd say. Now, not every Digimon requires this, but some definitely do, even most I'd say. That said, initially when I wrote this part I hadn't quite played Digimon World Dusk, which seems to have been the inspiration for this Digivolution style. I highly suggest checking out both, but Digital Tamers 2 is such a fun fan game, especially for those that are fans of, say, Digimon World PS1 or Digimon World Next Order. Now, back to discussing some of the stages. After the baby stage is the in-training stage, and some languages have different names for Digimon stages. In Japan, they translate as baby, baby 2, child, adult, perfect, ultimate, whereas I'll be using the English names, which are baby, in training, rookie, champion, ultimate, mega, and ultra, since that's more what I'm used to. I don't know what the Japanese word for ultra is, or at least what the stage is referred to as, but you get the idea. Now, in training Digimon are not much stronger than baby Digimon. Often the differences are negligible, and, you know, you start seeing it in the form of vocalization in some of the media where an in-training can talk where a baby Digimon couldn't. Some baby and in-training Digimon are also very clear on what Digivolution lines they're meant to go through. As you can see here with Gigimon and Gyumon, it's a little clear that that's meant to be the rookie for it, but Gigimon does have a few unexpected Digivolution choices. And after the in-training stage is the rookie stage. Rookies are the first Digimon really able to start holding their own, and this is where we start seeing a lot of that natural power difference where it matters, as well as a lot more variations of Digivolution, where a baby Digimon might turn into 2 or 3 different in training, and in training can turn from, 3 to maybe 10 different rookies. Now, in some cases, some of the rookies are just variations of other rookies, and they might share a name or just have additions to the names, such as we have Gabumon, Psychemon, Gabumon Black, and Gabumon X Antibody, which X Antibody is its own can of worms that we'll address at a later time. Now, I chose Gabumon because it really shows you what kind of variations you can have and, how slight the name change may be. And believe me, name changes can be very slight, and if you look too deep into it, you will be confused. Anyway, where was I? Right. So champions are usually next. Champions are much stronger than rookies, and the second most common type of Digimon to come across in the wild. Many Digimon are lucky to ever reach the champion stage. And
Hold on, Alyss. You said that you usually go champion. Can you go back to that really quick?
Well, just give me one moment, Grizz, because so there's a lot of rules and such that go into it, and I kind of want to just hit the basics before I worry about going to anything more specific.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
Well, carry on, please.
Thank you very much, Grizz. Have a wonderful day. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to be going into the basics of evolution and explaining the various stages. Now, when it comes to champions, some are extremely powerful, such as Angemon, who's kind of almost on the strength of an ultimate, where some are extremely weak, such as Numamon, who's considered a garbage Digimon. Some aren't really fighters, like Burgermon, who digivolves from Burgermon. So this is kind of a common thread sometimes, where a Digimon's name just carries across multiple stages. Burgermon is at least kind of a small thing, since it's not really a combative Digimon, whereas something like, Lusamon, easily the most common issue here, being that Lusamon is a major antagonist in the show, and Burgermon was Burgermon. Now, champions are a very powerful line to go back to the topic at hand, and where many Digimon will find the end of their evolutions and only digivolve further out of necessity, corruption, outside influence, or just random situations that occur. point is, for a Digimon's lifespan, it takes a long time to become a champion. After champions are ultimate stage Digimon. These are much more sparingly around the digital world. As I said before, it's mostly out of necessity that they exist, or even some form of outside influence can cause it. Even trash Digimon that reach the ultimate level, such as Garbagemon, are considerably a threat for others. It isn't impossible for them to be beaten by champion level Digimon, but it will be an uphill battle. In Digimon World 1, for example, this was actually where Digivolution ended. A Digimon that reached this was the strongest stage and extremely difficult to conquer in battle. Now, this has changed since then, but Ultimate Digimon are still very powerful and nothing to sneeze at. So what was added after Ultimates? Well, Ultimate gave way to Mega Digimon. As a tamer, if a Mega is running at you, you should probably run and wish as hard as you can that it didn't see you so you can get away. Megas are nearly the pinnacle of evolution, and some even have the power to destroy the world. Even something as simple as Digimon has the ability to just banish you to the land of death that he just keeps in his staff. Yep, old man, land of death, kept in his staff. That's Digimon, alright. Nothing abnormal to worry about here. As I said, Megas can be terrifying. Some of them look as terrifying as they are, and some look cuddly but are terrifying. We're gonna ignore the Marine Angemon, and we're just gonna move on. Maybe he'll go away. Anyway, the final evolution of a Digimon is the Ultra stage, and these are the end of the end. A Digimon that reaches this stage will likely burn itself out, unable to keep the energy needed to maintain its form, and in the event it is able to maintain its form, it's a walking danger to the world. Often these are extremely powerful Digimon whose attacks involve things like throwing galaxies. This is the point where, if something were to Digi-evolve past this, it's still an Ultra Digimon. They are basically either the apocalypse or the thing to counter the apocalypse. That's where Ultra Digimon are. And now that we have an idea of what the various stages are, we're going to talk about the special forms of Digivolution. There's Armor, Slide, Dark, Digifusion, DNA Digivolution, Warp, Biomerge, X, and Extra Cross Evolutions. That's a lot on top of standard Digivolution, and I fully understand that, and we're gonna tackle these topics kind of one at a time. For the most part, they're gonna be quick. First off, we're gonna talk about Armor Digivolution, which, to make it extremely simple, is when you utilize Armor Digi-Eggs, or Digi-Mentals, as they are referred to in some of the games, to transform into an Armored Digimon. Originally in Digimon Adventure 2, these were solely used by the 3 new Digidestined, as well as TK and Kari, which I'll be using the American names, Davis, Yoli, and Cody. And the point was that this would be a way the Dark Spires couldn't influence their Digivolution. Now, since then, they have had some more Digivolutions introduced. Some are just alternatives, like Wormmon getting the Digi-Egg of Courage, going to Shadramon, and some are fairly open, involving Digimon that weren't even in Adventure 2. I've even made my own Friendship Armor Digivolution of Betamon on a previous team, which you can see here, named Tempesidramon. I just like showing this off. I'm kind of proud of how it looks. Now, after this, we're going to talk about Slide Evolution, which is kind of the simplest one. It's when a Digimon changes their form, but doesn't go up or down in stage. Commonly, this is seen when, say, an Angemon acts in some non-righteous way, and Slide Digivolves to a Devamon. The same is true for all Holy Digimon, where they can slide to evil counterparts simply by committing unrighteous acts. In Digimon World PS1, if you have an Angemon and you lose a fight, it will slide to a Devamon. Dark Digivolution is the next one, and it's not very different from a normal Digivolution, though this is a situation that can only exist for tamers in Digidestined. A Dark Digivolution is when a Digimon corrupted by hate digivolves into an evil form. You see this in Adventure 1 primarily for the first time when Agumon, pressured by Tai, turns into Skull Greymon, causes a lot of destruction, and even makes it so that Tai is afraid of digivolving Agumon out of fear that Skull Greymon is going to make a return. Now, next we are going to talk about Digivolution fusions, and these are complicated. Digifuse is where Digimon are combining and often maintain specific features of some of the Digimon, with a general being central to the combinations, like a lead Digimon. Now, this form is specifically from Cross Wars, and Digifuse can utilize multiple Digimon, with one such called the Final Fusion that fuses almost every Digimon in existence to create an overly powerful Digimon. DNA Digivolution and Extra Cross Evolution, in contrast, just require two Digimon to fuse. We first see DNA Digivolution in our Wargame, one of the earlier Digimon movies, when War Greymon and Metal Garurumon become Omnimon or Omegamon. There are two different forms of DNA Digivolution to add just a little more confusion, because why not? There is Jogress and Fusion. Now, these differences are fairly simple. A Jogress evolution results in a fresh evolution, while a fusion maintains the levels of the fused Digimon. Extra Cross Evolution is a form of DNA Digivolution shown in Digimon World Next Order, and it is a fusion type. It is one in which the Digimon will fuse together for the fight and revert afterwards, keeping their levels as they fuse. This can occur either controlled, or if both Digimon are defeated, there is a chance of fusing. Since this doesn't create a new form that's permanent, it is not a Jogress evolution. This is also similar to the fusion evolution seen in Digimon Adventure 2, though this certainly has less restrictions than Adventure 2, where the fusions seem to be specifically paired between the various tamers. Now, let's go back a little bit to something a little more simple, just to pull things to a nice sensible area. Warp Digivolution is when you just skip a few steps. In Digimon Adventure, we see this with Agumon and Gabumon being able to immediately digivolve into War Greymon and Metal Garurumon without having to go through steps after step after step. I think the idea here is that Warp Digivolution expends less energy overall in evolution, but is harder to master. Did you enjoy simple? Good. Back to complicated. Biomerge Digivolution is... so it's similar to DNA Digivolution, but instead of it being between two Digimon, it's the fusion of a human and a Digimon, commonly the tamer of that Digimon. This was introduced in Tamers, with Takato and Guillemon becoming Gallantmon, Renamon and Rika becoming Sakuyamon, and Terriermon with Henry becoming Mechagargomon. This is normally only possible in the digital world, where Tamers are converted into data, but in Tamers they do retain the ability to do this thanks to the Digimon Sovereigns. They needed this to fight the D-Reaper. Now, X-Digivolution is not simple. I am actually going to do a whole video on X-Digivolution because it involves something called the X-Antibody. And to summarize here, it's temporarily becoming a parallel form with a little more power, maybe some enhanced weapons, and as I said, it can be a lot. And that's kind of it. There's more I could talk about, but it's a lot of things that fit better into other topics, like the X-Antibody Digivolution, D-Digivolution, which is a privilege not every tamer has, Spirit Evolution, which Spirit Evolution deserves its own video to talk about, at least the series it's from, and maybe I'll even do breakdowns of each series at some point if people want to watch that. Did I leave out some form of Digivolution that you wanted to know about? Let me know down in the comments below. If you have Digimon that you want info on, or something I might have gotten wrong, feel free to leave comments down below and let me know. Like the video if you enjoyed it. If you're new here, subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. I've got a lot of fun topics I plan to discuss, both Digimon and tabletop, and would love to see if people want more info on this stuff. I'm live on Twitch and YouTube all but Monday and Wednesday, and the Discord server is always open for discussion. I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you very much, and goodbye.